Short hair, don't care.
I'm manifesting.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Intuitive Safe Haven. It's your girl Rose, and I am back in all my bearskin glory, so you know what that means. Another makeup and mindset video. If you guys haven't already, please consider subscribing. And if you like, consider following me on my social medias. Yes. And we're going to get into the video topic. Today's makeup and mindset video. It is going to be recreating the Beetlejuice look. I am going to do a glam Beetlejuice look. And while I'm doing that, I am going to be telling the story of my first time working in a strip club. So this shall be interesting. So now that we're close and personal, let me explain the look. So I plan on trying to attempt a Beetlejuice look. I've seen a couple for inspiration online, but I'm kind of just gonna do my own thing here. First thing I'm gonna do is start off with primer. So I'm using the Fenty Pro Filter Soft Matte Primer, and I'm just gonna prime. All right. So the next thing I'm gonna do is I'm going to use concealer. I'm just gonna kind of highlight some of these parts. And yes, I know my concealer is like 5 shades lighter than me, but it doesn't matter because we're trying to look dead anyways. So now that we've got the concealer on, I am gonna go back into this. This is the Wet n Wild Fantasy Makers. I definitely need some of this white here, but it looks kind of funky, so we're just gonna kind of clean that off and work around that. Let me tell you folks about the time I worked at a strip club. So, I was 18 years old, and at this point, I'm kind of living on my own. I wanted to be that rebellious teenager and not go to college and not be bothered with any of that stuff. So, I got my first job, and, obviously, once you live out on your own, you kind of realize that, adulting is ghetto and shit is expensive, and yeah, life is hard. So, I was kind of late on my rent as it was, and I wanted to really, make some extra money. So at the time, I was working at a sex store. Yes, y'all, I worked at a sex store, and for those of you who know me, I'm pretty sure you're not surprised, but I'm pretty sure a lot of you don't know me, so yeah, I worked at a sex store. Yes, it's all out there now. We have spoken about it. That's what it was. Let's move on. So I was working at a sex store at the time, and, I ended up running into a girl in the sex store because we also sold like costumes and stuff. But, me working there at 18 years old, I had no idea like what these costumes were and like why they sold them and what they were for until like I had met an actual stripper. So she explained to me that, she dances a couple days a week and it's enough to pay all her bills and spend money. So I'm like, oh shit, like, teach me more. Like, I need to know more. So she ended up, inviting me to her job. And I was like, whoa, you're just sending invitations to your job and whatnot? And yeah, so that was pretty much it. So I get to the strip club. The strip club was called Goldfinger. And it looked kind of like a burlesque house. It had the red carpet and the red curtains and the gold trim and then a bunch of statues with fingers like this, and it was weird. All right, so now that we look like a cadaver, I am going to be using my Morphe Lisa Frank palette for this. And the first color I'm going to be going into is this bright green right here. and I'm gonna kind of go on the outside of my socket. So I go to this club named Goldfinger, and I'm walking around and she tells me to sit down at a table, and she goes in the back and she gets dressed, and she's like, all right, all you gotta do is just watch what I do and do it. Now, mind you, I'm just spectating at this point, so I see her get up on stage, and then she is not the name that I was calling her by. I don't even remember her name because it was over 20 years ago, I guess, and I forgot. So she goes up on stage, and I'm seeing her dancing and climbing the pole, and I'm just like, oh my God, that's so cool, and this and that. And after she gets off of stage, I'm like, oh wow, that was so cool. People were throwing money at her, and it was just money flying everywhere. And I'm just like, damn, there goes my rent right there, and my cell phone bill, and my car note, all of that. So, she's like, oh, well, do you want a job here? And I'm like, well, I don't know if I can get naked. And so she brings me to the back, and she's like, you should audition. Now, me in my head, I'm like, oh, hell no, man. There's too many damn people in here. I'm going to be butt bookie naked? Like, mm-mm. So now that we got this green laid down, I am going to dip into another color, and it is going to be this purple right here. Yeah, I'm gonna go in here. So, so after about 10-15 minutes of her, trying to convince me, I was kind of like, all right, I'll audition for this club. What's the worst that can happen? They don't give me a job. It's whatever, But, so I go in the back, and, I see all the women there, and it's a bunch of butt bookie ass naked women. And, me at 18, I'm not used to that, because even in school, I would never change in the locker room. It was just not my thing. So to be in a dressing room full of naked women, it's like very strange to me. So I'm there, and all the girls are like all friendly and stuff, and they're just like cheering me on, like, girl, you should go on stage, blah blah blah. So I'm like, all right. And so then there's this lady back here. She's an older lady, and they call her the house mom. And this is kind of like where I learned about like the whole lifestyle and culture of it. Like, the house mom was pretty much like the lady that you go to for anything that you needed. It was pretty amazing. Like, it was pretty amazing. I learned a lot. So then the house mom, she's like, oh, come here, sweetie. And she was a nice little Jamaican lady too. I don't remember names because, like I said, this was over a decade, 2 decades ago, But so she comes and she puts me in her chair, and she starts airbrushing makeup on me, and I'm just like, what the hell is going on here? All right, so now that we blended it out and got this going on, I am going to go into this shimmery purple right here and pack it on the inner corners. So as I'm there getting made up and done up by the house mom, my friend's going through her bag, and, she's like, we gotta find you an outfit to wear, girl. I'm like, what? She's like, yeah, you're not gonna go out there in your street clothes. We gotta get you an outfit. So she's looking for an outfit, and then as I'm getting my makeup done, one of the managers comes into the dressing room, and I'm a little freaked out because I've never seen a man just blatantly walk in to a women's dressing room and just be like, hey y'all, what's up? But he did it and nobody was freaked out by it other than me. So I guess this was normal. So I kind of just like sat down, relaxed and chilled because I was like, man, if nobody else is freaked out by this, then why should I be? So after my friend gives me the outfit and I put it on and I look like a complete and total slut, you know, they call me out on stage and they were like, well, what do you want your stage name to be? I'm like, wait, I can't just use my real name? And they were like, no, dumbass, you can't. I mean, if you want to, but then that leads to stalkers and kidnappers and crazy people. I was like, all right. So, you know, I chose my stage name, and my stage name was Triana. Yes, so after I chose my stage name, you know, they went and they called me out on stage. Now, mind you, I'm nervous as because I've never danced in front of a crowd of people just glaring at me, you know, like they were just like, I'm the only one front and center and they're just all glaring at me. Like I've never done that before. It was a very scary experience. And on top of that, I had to get naked. So you could imagine. All right, so after we've done the eyeshadow, I am going to add some detail. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm gonna kind of shade contour, and I'm gonna use this black here from the Wet n Wild palette here, and we're just gonna blend that in. So now that we've contoured a little bit, I am going to add some fine details. And with Beetlejuice, you know, I'm trying to make him look as creepy as possible. And when I mean him, I mean me. So I'm just gonna... Now that we got the details on, we're gonna get a little creative with our eyeshadow. So what I'm gonna do first is I'm going to take this dark green here and we're gonna start layering that right up here to kind of give that gangrene look that Beetlejuice has. And all right, y'all, so now this look is coming along. You feel me? All right, so I did that process with all the different colors of green, and I layered the lightest green on top first so that it would really pop out more. So the next thing I'm gonna do is eyebrows. Yes, I'm gonna do my eyebrows real quick. So now that we got the brows filled out, I'm going to use this green lipstick. So now that we got the eyeliner on, so I actually get my ass onto stage, right? And, you know, I start dancing, you know, I'm not a complete klutz, you know, I got a little rhythm, so, you know, I'm dancing around the pole, just doing my shika wow wow, and whatnot, and, you know, all of a sudden, you know, guys start throwing money at me, and I'm like, wait a minute, I'm not even working here yet, and people are throwing money at me. Imagine if I did this every night. So I'm just finishing up my set, and then here comes the time for me to get naked. And I had my friend on the sidelines, and she's yelling at me like, it's the second set, take your shirt off. I'm like, no. You know, guys are throwing more money at me, and you know, after that, you know, it was time for me to get completely nude, and that's when I freaked out. But I did it anyway because you know what? The amount of dollars on the floor called for me to get nude. So I got nude. And I finished my set and the manager was like, oh, great audition. Do you want to work here? And I'm like, yeah. You know, I made $100 that. I made $100 in like 15 minutes. And you know, when you're making that much in 15 minutes, you know, that kind of starts really getting the gears turning in your head. So other than that, I think one of the main things that I took away from here was have confidence in yourself, because you should always have confidence. We have this going on right now, and I'm sitting here trying to look for some, but now the only thing that we are missing to complete the look is this. So this here is, it's basically hairspray to color your hair. And so what we're gonna do is we're gonna color our hair with this. So stick around. All right, so here's my head and here's my hair. Yes. So we're gonna take this and we're gonna kind of spray this. I don't know if maybe I should. Oh my God, did it work? Oh well, this is what we're sticking with. You know, I'm my version of Beetlejuice, so boom. But yes, so this is the final look. I just really don't want to spray the rest of this in my hair. You know, fuck it, I might as well. I'm gonna wash it out anyways. All right, so, so this is the final look, y'all. Now, believe me, trust me when I say this is my first time attempting this look, so y'all let me know in the comments how it came out. But other than that, yeah, so that was pretty much the time that I went to the strip club, and no, overall it was a very interesting experience. I mean, I learned a lot of life lessons in that place, and you know, lessons that I'll never forget, you know. And no, not to be nasty, because I ain't do no nasty stuff. Don't, y'all dirty ass motherfuckers, y'all better not. But anyways, you know, I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. I mean, I tried to make it as simple as possible, and I hope the mindset that you go into as far as when you are doing something that you've never done before is positive, and that you're open-minded. Oh my God, that was the lesson of the video. That was the mindset part of the makeup and mindset. Oh my gosh, how could I forget that? I was supposed to mention it earlier, but I didn't. But other than that, I will see you guys on another one of my videos, and you know, hit that like button, and if you made it this far, please subscribe and follow me on my social medias. Bye.